doing the right thing. It's not about doing the proper thing. It's about winning at any cost. Me winning at any cost. It's not me sacrificing for others. It's about others sacrificing for me. It's not about being the same in private or public life. It's about being whatever the situation calls for at the time. If we need to do evil, we do it. If we need to lie, we do it. If we need to do good, we do it. Character is what you are when no one is watching. Character is what you are when no one is watching. And that is what we are. Character counts. This is a great passage here in Proverbs chapter 12 about character. Character is important. Good character is most important. Whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge, but he that hateth reproof is brutish. Whosoever loveth instruction loveth knowledge, but he that hateth reproof is brutish. Whosoever loves instruction and discipline loves knowledge, but he who hates reproof and correction is stupid. That's what the word brutish means. The wise person knows that discipline and instruction will bring its own reward, yet the person who hates a reprimand is stupid. Literally, stupid as a cow. Stupid as a cow. I thought cows were pretty smart. They don't have to work very hard. Just give themselves up for a steak or let someone milk them. How hard is that? They figured it out, haven't they? What is it? For breakfast, the chicken gives an egg, but the pig is totally committed to breakfast, right? Good character is important. Whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge. Now, people just don't like to be told they're wrong. And I'm glad that I've never been wrong, just mistaken a lot. Well, I've never been wrong. That's hard to say that word too. Number 2, verse 2 says, a good man obtain the favor of the Lord, but a man of wicked devices will he condemn. He will condemn a man who devises evil. That's what it means. He will condemn a man who devises evil. John's gospel speaks of one being condemned already because of his evil deeds and deliberately and clinging to the darkness even though the light has come. John chapter 3, verses 16 through 21 talks about a person who deliberately clings to the darkness because he likes the darkness better than the light. How could a person like the darkness better than light? Because they begin to love the darkness and love getting away with evil deeds. They think they're getting away with it. But God will condemn that. They're already condemned. They're condemned already because they've not believed on the Lord Jesus Christ and accepted His salvation. They're condemned already. The Bible tells us that there's none righteous. Every person who devises evil is unrighteous, and there are no unrighteousness will be in heaven. People have this idea that everybody does it, and it's okay to cheat, to lie, to steal, to have sex before marriage, to have sex outside of marriage, and to have sex outside of your own gender. Well, I don't know what that means. Let's see. To have sex outside of your own sex. Because gender is fluid. Remember, we learned that this morning. Gender is fluid. It's whatever you want it to be today. Verse 3, a man shall not be established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, I shall not be moved. That's where we get part of that song. The root of the consistently righteous will not be moved. A man will not be established by wickedness. What does this mean? This contrasts such a one as this proverb speaks, such a one in this proverb that speaks of a person's ultimate end. Otherwise, they would be proven false by countless examples of wicked persons who flourish while the righteous suffer. This contrasts the supposedly flourishing of the righteous. The flourishing of the wicked, while the righteous just don't seem to get any fair treatment. And this says that a person is not established with God by wickedness. A person will not be established, will not flourish, who's wicked. Yeah, they may seem to be winning for a while. They may seem to go well for a while. But they don't stand on a rock. They're standing on sand. It may look like a rock, but it's crumbling sandstone. And listen, when the storms come and the floods rage, who's going to be left standing? The righteous, because we're standing upon a rock. It's the image of the tree that flourishes in Psalm 1:3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. A tree by the river that stands firm and strong. A tree that actually makes the river bank stronger because it has deep roots. But a person that's established by wickedness and wicked behavior, they establish their life on lying and cheating, will not have a good name among the community. They will not be trusted. And if they've gotten away with it, they will be found out eventually. They will be found out. People that live on wickedness will be found out eventually. A person who establishes their life on wicked behavior will be ostracized from the community eventually. Even though there is none good but God, we all recognize what is good and what is bad for the most part. We recognize what's good behavior and what's bad behavior. And we ostracize those people from the community that do bad behavior. And what does that mean? That means you don't make the person who just gets out of the penitentiary for embezzlement shouldn't be the bank president the next week. Shouldn't be the county judge executive. Oh, that happened though, didn't it? Back in the 60s, we had a county judge sentenced to prison and served time for embezzlement, got elected for a 4-year term about a year after he got out. Because he's a good old boy. And he was. He was a good old boy. But listen, we don't usually reward bad behavior. We always reward good behavior. And that's one of the reasons that God exists. That's proof that God exists, because we reward the righteous even in this world. We reward good citizens. Well, how do you reward good citizens? They don't come and lock you up for doing good. They don't bother you. But that's coming to an end. Right now, if you do good, you're looked upon as a pillar of the society. A pillar citizen, a pillar of the community. And why is that? Because God recognizes what's good and what's bad. He's put it in our hearts and our minds. He's put it in our conscience, and we reward that. Do you reward your children when they're good or when they're bad? Good behavior is desired in all people, even in a sinful, fallen society. Now, what they think their idea, a government's idea of what is good behavior and bad behavior in citizens is getting warped. Like North Korea, what they say is good behavior in a citizen is to do exactly what the party says, what Kim Jong-un says. That's good. If you try to argue or put up a fight or stand up for your rights, that's not good citizenship, according to him. And a lot of societies in the world today, if you want to be in an Islamic society, you better do what they say. That's a good citizen. You better hate Christians and hate the Jews And it's amazing. I saw where this summer Israeli children are having summer camp where they're going to swim and have fun and participate in learning activities and do things that kids do. Right across the border in Palestine, those children are having summer activities, practicing stabbing Israelis. They're practicing cutting the throats of Jews. That's what they're doing. They're practicing cutting throats and stabbing. Little children. That'd be like bringing in kids for Bible school and say, okay, kids, let's practice killing a Muslim. And actually get play knives, sometimes real knives, and cut the heads off of dummies. They do that. Yet Israel is chastised by the world, saying that they are the aggressors against Palestine, and the Palestinians are training right now their children to kill Jews. Matter of fact, you know where the Palestinians were going around stabbing Jews? Now what they're doing is they're filling syringes up with detergent and stabbing Jews with that. They stab you with a syringe full of detergent and put it in you. And that's supposed to kill you. Anything, see, it's easier to hide than a knife and more unsuspecting. So they're going to try to kill Jews with syringes. Yet it's all Israel's fault. No, we hate you, but it's your fault. We did you wrong, but it's your fault. That's our society today. God looks upon the wicked and will withhold many blessings. It does rain on the just and the unjust, and the sun shines on the just and the unjust. But God's favor rests with those who trust in Him. God's favor rests with those who trust in Him. Not everything's going to go right for you. Not everything's going to go good. But God's favor is upon you. And He will bring you through it. He'll bring you through it and help you to stand on a rock. I don't care what you have to go through as a Christian. I don't care how low you have to go. You can't get lower than God won't be with you. He said, the psalmist said, if I make my bed in hell, thou art with me. So we don't have to be afraid to go to hell. The Lord is with us. And He'll bring us out of it. Character counts with God. Character is important. Good character is important in the life of His people. People established by wickedness, will not receive God's favor. People established by righteousness, the root of righteousness shall not be moved. You want to have a stable, successful life. You want to have a stable life. You want to have a life where you're not worried about the future, not worried about anything. You just trust God. He'll make sure you're not moved. We have nothing to fear. Secondly, we must guard our good character. First, we must realize good character is important. Secondly, we must guard our good character. Verse 4 says, a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh ashamed is a rottenness in his bones. A virtuous, excellent wife is worthy of honor in the crown of her husband. But she who shames him with her foolishness is like rottenness in his bones. No comment. Excellent wife or noble woman are the same Hebrew words used in the famous acrostic in Proverbs 31:10 through 31. Talks about a virtuous woman in Proverbs 31. We use that a lot of times on Mother's Day. A husband whose wife is like the woman described in Proverbs 31 should rejoice in her because of her noble character, and that brings him honor. But a wife of dubious character brings shame upon not only her husband, but her entire family. You know, the man and the woman have different roles in society and in the family. The woman is expected to behave better than men. Isn't that right? Women are expected to behave better than men. Kids, and now you also think about yourself growing up. I don't know what kind of family unit you had, but we know that our fathers can sometimes be cranky, hateful, unloving, and unreliable. But where would we be if our mothers were hateful, cranky, unloving, and unreliable? You see, it's a big difference if your mother is cranky, unloving, and unreliable, and hateful. God made women to nurture and to love and to make her husband and her children proud. God made women to nurture and to love. He made men to provide and protect. That's why sometimes fathers are hateful and cranky. But women, you don't get a pass. That's awful. That's a lot of pressure, isn't it? No, it's not. That should be the way you are. You know what you are when no one's watching? What a woman should be is nurturing and loving when no one's watching. I mean, that's the way she is. She's always thinking about nurturing and loving and caring for her family. And that's not the way, that's not right. Women have a right to be what men are. One of our leading commanders in the Army now is a woman. One of the top commanders on the ground is now a woman. And I tell you, women don't think the same as men do. Unless they've been warped, women would think on the side of mercy. And I just can't see a woman coming out and saying, kill them, kill all of them. Kill them. Well, I guess I could, certain women that I've met in my life. Some bosses I've had. But normally, you don't think of a woman that can lead men to kill others. I just don't think it's going to work. I just don't think it'll work. Men are protectors and providers. That's their job, to fight and to kill and to protect. It's not women's job. Their job is to nurture. Now, if we want an army to be nurtured and loved, bring a woman in as a commander. If we want an army to protect and to provide protection and to destroy the enemy, bring in a man commander. A man. Jack, that's just sexist right there. Well, I'm sorry. I think that's the way we're different. And God made us that way. And if that's why I feel sorry for homosexual children of homosexuals. If you're raised by two men, you're raised by two protectors and providers. It's like, though they have to decide who's going to be the... Let's be frank about this, and tomorrow night you can be frank. I mean, we have to... Roles have to be defined. See what a mess this is in our whole society. See what a mess it is, and what a shame it is for children to be raised by parents of the same sex. It just won't work. Now, one parent family is much better than to have two parents of the same sex. One parent family is much better. That's not the best, but it happens. Proverbs 23:7. Well, let's get to verse 5 first. Woman should guard her character. I'm done with the women. Let's move on. We should guard our thoughts. Verse 5. The thoughts of the righteous are right, but the counsels of the wicked are deceit. The counsels and schemes of the wicked are deceitful. Well, yeah. We know the wicked, our enemy, the devil, is a liar and deceiver. Proverbs 23:7 says, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. All evil starts with one thought. All sin starts with a thought. We must guard our thoughts. Philippians 4:8 says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. We have to guard our thought life. Because every evil starts with a thought. Verse 6, we should guard our words. The words of the wicked are to lie in wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright shall deliver them. The mouth of the upright will rescue and protect them. Our thoughts matter. At the very least, they must not be deceitful, but a person's thoughts determine what someone says and does. You have to, a lot of times my problem is I don't think and then I speak. If you speak before you think, you're in real trouble. But thoughts matter because thoughts lead to what you say. The words of wicked persons are like a deadly ambush. The words of the upright are carefully considered. Now that's an important point to remember. The words of the wicked are to lie in wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright shall deliver them. Proverbs 16:24 says, pleasant words are as a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. When we speak harshly without considering our words and their effect, we do great harm. Words should be considered carefully. That's why when you get angry, shut the pie hole until you think about it. Don't say anything. I saw a lady the other day at a store, and her child was old enough to know better, a teenager, and I heard her say, we're not going to talk about this now, but we will talk about it tomorrow. In the morning we're going to talk about this. And out she went, dragging him by the ear. But she was thinking it over, what to say. And boy, do you think that kid had a restless night? What's mom going to say? What's mom going to say? Because most time we just want our punishment over with. Mom, if you're going to whip me, or Dad, just do it now, get it over with. It's awful when you got to think about it overnight, isn't it? So parents, if you really want to get your kids, let them, where are the kids? They're hiding. Think about it overnight. That would be the best way to handle them. Let them think of it. We're the only kid here. We got to look at you. Mary's back there. She was hiding. I didn't see her. No, Mary wouldn't hide. We should guard our words. And lastly, we have first, the good character is important. Secondly, we must guard our good character. I'll edit this out, Caitlin, so no one will know on national television, international television, that you were picked on. I wish we had a cameraman. We could pan over to... Come up here and stand up here, right? So we can... Caitlin is our star softball player for the high school.
Yeah, okay.
And we are very proud of her. We must guard our good character. Thirdly, the confidence of good character. Verse 7, the wicked are overthrown and are not, but the house of the righteous shall stand. This is that verse I was trying to think of the other night, Irvin. The house of the righteous shall stand. It's Proverbs 12:7. Isn't that somehow the Lord leads you to the passage and you don't even realize it? The wicked are not going to last. The wicked won't last. The wicked are overthrown and are not. One day all wickedness will be disposed of and destroyed. One day all the wicked will be overcome and overthrown. One day all sin will be cast into the lake of fire forever and ever, never to bother us again. The wicked aren't going to last. You know that the wicked die younger than the average population. Homosexuals live to an average age of 45, homosexual men. I know they don't want anybody to know that, and they don't want it to be talked about, but you're shortening your life when you get into sexual deviancy. The wicked are prone to people more wicked than them, taking advantage of them. Did you know if you hang around with the wicked, you'll always find someone more wicked to take advantage of you? If you hang around the righteous, you'll always find someone more righteous that wants to help you. So why do people want to hang around the wicked? Because they love the darkness. They are easily shaken. The wicked are easily shaken because their foundation is on shifting sands of human wisdom and luck. Wicked people do not last, but the righteous will outlast the wicked. Wicked people are undone by their own devices. Did you know that? A wicked person will be destroyed by their own evil plans and actions. Whatever a person does that's wicked will usually get them. If they take drugs, what will get them? Drugs. If they murder, they'll usually be murdered. If they steal, they'll be stolen from. That's the problem with our inner cities today. It's a madhouse. Chicago is getting ready to burn down. They say Chicago could be a full-scale war this summer with inner city crime, blacks on blacks, where if you do to one, they get you back. It just comes back and forth, back and forth. And now they're starting to kill children to get back at drug dealers, to kill their children. And they seek them out and kill them in their backyards, catch them riding a bike and drive by and kill them. Chicago's out of control. And whose home city is that? The president. Who has more gun control than any city in the United States? Chicago. What's going on? Wickedness breeds wickedness. Whatever the wicked do, that's how the wicked will die. I've seen this 100 times. I've seen this 100 times. The man who steals another man's wife will eventually have his wife stolen by another. I've seen it 100 times on the soap operas, haven't you? A man who steals another man's wife will eventually